Bill Gates now owns one of the few natural healthy tonics we had, and he's putting the apples in it with
the APEEL?
The APEEL, the creep.
Oh, what is that? That's like a coating that they spray on the outside of vegetables?
It's like some schmegma to keep the apples preserved longer.
Is it just apples?
For Costco.
You flash your executive membership card at the door, walk past the electronics, and head straight for the produce section. At Costco, you feel safe. You trust that those organic avocados and crisp apples are the gold standard for your family's health. But look closer at that tiny, inconspicuous sticker. It's not just a price tag, it's a warning. A shadowy, invisible layer has been sprayed onto your fresh fruit, a chemical coating called APEEL. Backed by tens of millions of dollars from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, this edible film is designed to keep produce looking fresh for weeks long after it should have naturally rotted. The most terrifying part, it's absorbed into the peel. You can't wash it off. You can't scrub it away. And according to the FDA, they don't even have to tell you it's there. This is not a conspiracy theory. It is a $121 million reality. As of 8 o'clock a.m. this morning, industry insiders are sounding the alarm on a massive breach of consumer trust. APEEL Science is heavily bankrolled by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Since 2012 has successfully infiltrated the global supply chain under the guise of sustainability. But behind the green curtain lies a chemical secret. The primary ingredients in this coating are mono and diglycerides. While they sound harmless, these are industrial-grade synthetic fats. Investigative reports suggest that these compounds are often extracted using heavy heat and chemical solvents frequently, leaving behind residues of trans fats and environmental toxins. The gravity of the situation reached a breaking point on April 22, 2026, when leaked documents revealed that over 40% of the produce sold in big box retailers like Costco may already be treated with this invisible shield. Because the Food and Drug Administration has granted APEEL a generally recognized as safe status, there is zero legal requirement for a warning label. This means you are paying a premium price to be an unpaid subject in a massive, unmonitored human experiment. Your right to know what you are putting into your body has been traded for a billionaire's vision of a longer shelf life. And as we go deeper, you will see that the fruits you think are the healthiest are actually the most compromised. At the center of this agricultural nightmare is the avocado, the crown jewel of the Costco produce aisle. Millions of American families pay $60 or more for an annual membership just to access what they believe is the freshest, highest quality superfood on the market. But that organic green skin is lying to you. The partnership between Costco and APEEL Sciences has turned this healthy fat into a biological deception. Since 2019, Costco has been one of the primary testing grounds for this technology. When you pick up a bag of avocados, you are looking for that perfect ripeness. But with the APEEL coating, the natural clock of the fruit is artificially frozen. Reports from frustrated consumers in early 2026 indicate a terrifying trend. Avocados that remain rock hard for over 14 days, or worse, fruit that looks vibrant and green on the outside, but is completely gray oxidized and rancid on the inside. This is the forever fruit phenomenon. By applying an industrial layer of mono and diglycerides, APEEL prevents the fruit from breathing. While it saves Costco millions of dollars in food, waste, and spoilage costs, it leaves you, the consumer, paying $5.99 for a bag of chemically preserved disappointment. You aren't just eating an avocado, you are eating a product designed to survive a shipping container, not to nourish a human body. But if you think the deception ends with avocados, wait until you see what they have done to the most popular fruit in the American lunchbox. They say an apple a day keeps the doctor away. But in 2026, at major retailers like Target and Kroger, that apple might be the very reason you need a doctor. For decades, consumers have been wary of the shiny carnauba wax used to make apples look attractive. We thought we could just wash it off with some hot water and vinegar. But the Bill Gates-backed APEEL technology has changed the game into something much more sinister. Unlike traditional wax that sits on the surface, APEEL is engineered as a molecular camouflage. Industry whistleblowers have raised concerns that this lipid-based coating doesn't just sit on the skin, it permeates the outer layers of the fruit's cuticle. This means that even if you use the most expensive organic fruit wash, you are still consuming these synthetic mono and diglycerides with every bite. At Kroger stores across the Midwest and Target locations from California to New York, these treated apples are being sold under various house brands without a single warning label. Independent laboratory tests conducted in March of 2026 have suggested that these coatings can trap existing pesticide residues underneath the film, creating a toxic cocktail that your body cannot easily process. You aren't just eating a piece of fruit. You are eating a complex lab-grown delivery system for industrial fats. The crisp crunch you hear isn't the sound of freshness, it is the sound of a shelf life extension algorithm. And if you think a thick-skinned fruit is any safer, the next brand on our list will prove you dangerously wrong. You squeeze a wedge of lime into your sparkling water or zest a fresh lemon over your family's dinner, thinking you are adding a burst of vitamin C and antioxidants. But at wholesale giants like Costco and traditional grocers like Kroger, the surface of that citrus is no longer just nature's packaging. It has been transformed into a laboratory-derived delivery system for synthetic chemicals. Lemons and limes are highly susceptible to shriveling the loss of moisture that makes them look old on the shelf. To combat this, APEEL Sciences has aggressively moved into the citrus market. The problem is far more intimate here than with an avocado. While you peel an avocado, you often steep citrus skins in hot tea or use the zest in baking. When you place a slice of APEEL-coated lemon into a hot liquid, the high temperature can destabilize those synthetic mono and diglycerides, leaching industrial-grade fats directly into your beverage. An investigative report from a leading health watchdog in January of 2026 raised a terrifying red flag. These industrial coatings may contain trace residues of solvents like hexane or palladium heavy metals, chemicals used during the manufacturing process. You aren't just getting the juice, you are consuming a chemical broth. This is a complete violation of the natural label. You are paying $3.99 for a bag of limes that have been chemically mummified to look fresh for 45 days. Your morning detox water has officially become a chemical cocktail. And as we look at our next item, the lie becomes even more transparent. Walk into the produce section of any high-end Kroger or local Costco, and you will see the English cucumber, traditionally known for its delicate skin and the protective plastic shrink wrap that keeps it from wilting. But in a move praised by environmentalists and funded by billionaire philanthropists, the plastic is disappearing. On the surface, it looks like a victory for the planet. In reality, it is a nightmare for your digestive system. APEEL Sciences has marketed this transition as a way to eliminate plastic waste, but they haven't removed the barrier. They have simply made it invisible and impossible to avoid. By spraying these cucumbers with their proprietary mono and diglyceride formula, they have replaced a removable, recyclable plastic sleeve with a liquid plastic coating that is literally bonded to the skin of the vegetable. According to data released in February of 2026, these cucumbers are being treated with a concentrated version of the coating to compensate for the lack of a physical wrap. This creates a hypersealed environment. Whistleblowers from the agricultural logistics sector have suggested that this airtight seal can actually promote the growth of anaerobic bacteria if the fruit is bruised before coating. You think you are buying a crisp, refreshing vegetable for your salad, but you are consuming an industrial byproduct that was never meant to be a permanent part of the human diet. Sustainability has become the new disguise for chemical saturation. The green revolution isn't saving the earth. It is just turning your dinner into a laboratory experiment. And as we reach the final item on our avoid list, the scale of this infiltration will leave you speechless. Imagine giving a handful of cuties or Halos mandarins to your toddler, believing you are providing essential vitamin C for their growing body. But at massive retailers like Costco and Walmart, the citrus industry has quietly adopted APEEL as its standard operating procedure. The deception here is particularly clever. Because these small fruits are often sold in large mesh bags, the individual APEEL sticker is frequently omitted from the fruit itself and hidden in the fine print on the back of the bulk packaging, a place where 95% of shoppers never look. Investigative reports from the spring of 2026 suggest that the citrus peel, which naturally contains porous essential oils, is being chemically altered by this coating. This invisible seal can trap mold spores and residual pesticides inside the fruit's pores, allowing them to ferment and degrade the nutritional value, while the outside remains bright and orange. You aren't just peeling a snack for your child, you are peeling back a layer of corporate greed that prioritizes a 90-day shelf life over the biological integrity of your family's food. When the profit margins of a billionaire-funded startup become more important than the transparency of the American lunchbox, the system is fundamentally broken. But you do not have to be a victim of this chemical takeover. So how do you escape the Bill Gates food trap? The relief comes in 3 specific strategies. First, seek out 100% USDA organic produce, but do not stop there. You must look for brands that explicitly state no post-harvest coatings on their website or packaging. In 2026, the most reliable brands for this are often smaller regional cooperatives found at Whole Foods or local health food stores. Second, the ultimate safe haven is your local farmers market. By purchasing directly from growers in your community, you bypass the industrial supply chain that requires mummification for long-distance shipping. Ask your farmer directly, do you use APEEL or any synthetic wax? A real farmer will give you a straight answer. Third, learn to embrace imperfection. A biological red flag is a fruit that looks too perfect or stays too fresh for over 14 days on your kitchen counter. Nature is designed to decompose. If a fruit refuses to die, it cannot truly support life. Look for heirloom varieties and produce with natural blemishes. These are the signs of a product that hasn't been tampered with in a laboratory. The era of blind trust in big box retailers is officially over. Costco, Target, and Kroger have made their choice. They have chosen the efficiency of forever fruit over the health of the American consumer. But knowledge is your ultimate weapon. By choosing to support transparent local growers, you are voting with your wallet for a future where food is grown in soil, not engineered in a billionaire's lab. Do not let this information stop with you. Share this video immediately to warn your friends and family before their next trip to the grocery store. We have reached a turning point where we must fight for our right to know what we are eating. Your health is the one thing they cannot be allowed to coat in chemicals. Subscribe and hit the notification bell to stay informed, because in a world of invisible coatings, the truth is the only thing that remains clear. Thanks for watching.